Hello, and welcome to the next episode of the Spirit and Soul podcast. We are almost at the end of 2025, and I like to do an episode about a similar topic every year, but always taking a different approach, or really, as the year goes on and as I have more experience in other things and understand things differently, I like to bring a little bit more of a fresh approach, or maybe the same but expanded approach to something that I talk about every single year. And we're going to do that right now. And that is all about intentions versus resolutions. Okay. So everybody right now is talking about their New Year's resolutions. Now, when this episode comes out, it's going to be Christmas Eve if you're listening in real time. So happy holidays. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. But you're probably also, if you're like me, thinking about your next year ahead and what's to come. And it's really been on my mind a lot lately because 2025 for me was such an incredible year. It was expansive. I was definitely met with challenges that I had to overcome and got to know myself in such a different way. And I truly believe that 2026 is going to be pure magic, not just for me, but for everybody. I just get this vibration that 2026 is this frequency, this feeling that 2026 is on this higher level. And maybe because we're in a 1 year, which we're going to have Erica on, and she's going to talk to us all about the numerology of 2026 in a couple of episodes from now. But what I really want you to focus on is this understanding of what is a resolution, because we have to be very cautious with the words that we're using for our lives. And because those words are going to shape our reality, they create the reality, and words have, words are spells, right? So we want to make sure that if we're using these words, that they're going to support us, that they're going to expand us and really have us going in the right direction, especially with the energy of a new beginning, a new year ahead of us. Now, I set intentions. Now, we set intentions. We're constantly talking about setting intentions, right? However, there are many different times throughout the year and throughout the month where intention setting has extra energy behind it, right? Like, so you have the new moon every month. A new moon carries beautiful weight for intention setting. Okay, that's just the astrological energies that are out there. It's like a new beginning. It's like a new year every month when we have that new moon energy. However, I'm a believer that we kind of have a new year, basically like new year energy, almost every quarter, I would say, right? So every couple of months, every season, we have this new beginning energy. And you can lean into whichever one feels good for you. You can come back to this episode if you feel like your new year is in the springtime, which astrologically, the new year is actually in the springtime. It's with the start of Aries season, okay? That's the first zodiac sign of the zodiac wheel. And for believers in that, which, I get it because springtime is awakening, right? Really, this time of year is a little bit more inward. It's not the awakening. It's like the plant, like the seeds have already been planted. We're planting those seeds and things are happening underneath the surface, right? But I am a believer that you should take hold and harness all of the energies that you can for a new beginning. Now, there are many people that believe that January 1st is big new year energy, big intention setting. And I believe it. And what happens when a lot of people believe something is that there's an energy frequency that happens with that. There's a big, beautiful belief energy that you can really tap into to support you as you're setting these intentions as you're, looking forward to this new year ahead. So whether you think that your new year starts in March or it starts, maybe you have new year energy that's really starting at the beginning of summer, or maybe for you it's fall, that's when you feel you're most alive. Like, baby, lean into them all. You don't have to just choose one. That is the beauty of this, is that you can you can renew yourself every month with the moon. You can renew it again every season, okay, with this new energy, this new season energy that comes with it. So my suggestion to you is don't poo-poo on New Year's energy. Don't forego it. Like, utilize it. Tap into that frequency that's already there. And when you're doing this, let's get clear on it, okay? Because if you are here saying my New Year's resolution is, you're already tapping into a lack frequency. So why I believe that resolution energy isn't really what you want to lean into is that resolution is already saying I'm not enough. I'm not enough as is in this moment. My life isn't enough as is in this moment. And so I have to resolve to be something different. I have to resolve it. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that, like, intention and resolution, they have a similar vibe. I just think that resolution is on the lower end of the spectrum. It's coming from a lack energy, whereas intention setting, it's really coming from a higher vibration frequency. It is what you intend to do. It's putting out there this higher frequency of like, well, I'm going to tap into this timeline and intend to tap into a future version of me. Okay, and I'm going to start to become that person now. All right, so there's a big difference in how we approach it, right? Now, what resolutions are doing is it's assuming that you need to fix something. And what happens also with that is when you need to fix something, you also feel like you need to be the perfect version of that right now. You need to be it immediately. And that the moment that you break the resolution, that's it. Okay, the shame spiral begins. You're like, oh, I guess next year's my year. And then you forgo everything because you're expecting to be a completely different person on the first of the year. And to me, it's just so silly, right? It really, really is, because you can't just become somebody overnight. You have to start to grow into that person. Now, we can embody that person, but also embodiment feels out what that feels like, what that looks like for you. And that's why intention setting is so powerful, because it allows you to evolve into what that person looks like. And I just love that so much more than I will resolve to be a different person today versus I will evolve into the person that holds the frequency of all the things that I want. And there's such a big energy. I mean, you can probably hear it in the words that I'm saying. It is such a different energy. The other thing with resolutions, and I really, really want you to hear this, is that resolutions generally are behavior based. So it is all about the things that you do rather than identity based, the becoming, right? It's not about the becoming. It's about the actions that you're going to take right now to, in quote unquote, fix whatever it is you feel like needs fixing in your life. And then what happens is when your identity, because you haven't really looked at the identity, doesn't match the action then falls away. So let's put this into real time. What is everybody's biggest, not everybody, but a lot of people's biggest resolution in the new year? It's always to lose weight, right? So when we're coming from a place of like, I'm going to lose weight this year, already you're coming from a lack mindset with that, because you feel like you have to lose something in order for you to become whatever it is you want, whatever it is you see in your mind. And right there, lack. Now, what are you going to do? Okay, probably on January 2nd. It's probably not going to be January 1st. Or maybe it's going to be like whatever it is, January 5th, which is the Monday. We're just going to wait until Monday because New Year's Day is on a Thursday this year. So we're just going to wait till Monday, right? So already you're kicking the can down the road, number one. You're setting, like, why does it have to be Monday? It could just be right this minute, right? And it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't. We get so harsh with resolutions. We are so harsh, and then we set ourselves up for failure. I'm going to highly suggest, whether you're on a fitness journey or not, or I should say a health journey or not, to really look into Wild Fit by Eric Edmeades. I love the way that he just approaches change in general, because he doesn't, even in this program, which I took and I absolutely loved, like it really changed my life and how I look at food. And for me, what I got from it is that change has to happen gradually. You cannot just drop yourself into a new program, a new whatever, and then expect everything to stick over time. You're also forcing it, and it's becoming extremely harsh. Right? Like when you give up everything all at once and then like start working out like crazy and then like no sugar and no this and, no, just protein only, right? Like your body's going into a shock and you haven't energetically met the person that does that yet. So it's going to be really, really hard to maintain. Like think about it like this. You know how we talk about the messy middle? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, definitely you can listen to past episodes. We talk a lot about the messy middle. And when you're in that messy middle, like you're at 1 foot in a new life, 1 foot in an old life. But like when you just push yourself into the new life, the identity cannot keep up. It can't, because it has no idea what you're doing. It also feels extremely unsafe for the mind. The mind is like, what are we doing? Relax, right? And it's going to keep telling you that you are not safe in what you're doing, even though the end result is what you want. Like maybe you want to adjust how you're eating. Maybe you do want to start a fitness journey, right? But when you just pile it all in all at once, it's almost like you're punishing yourself for something that you're not. And that to me is what resolutions are all about, because resolutions really create this subconscious belief that if you were truly worthy, you would have to white knuckle your way through it. Like, hang on so tight. We're going to hang on to this resolution and we're going to make it. And its new habits are forming January 1 or maybe January 5th. Okay, let's be realistic, because everyone's starting on Monday, right? So you're hanging on to it so tight. And that's not how real change works. And it's not how it gets incorporated. And also, that's just not how energy works. Energy, I don't want to say it needs time, but you have to become, right? Be, do, have. The being part is the most important part. Be. I'm going to be this person. Now, what does this look like? Well, you have to start to figure that out. You have to figure out who is the person that likes a healthy diet. Or what does healthy actually mean to you? Because healthy, like, I just want to remind you guys of something. Like, everybody has their own truth. Everyone has their own truth. And for me, I really believe that there is no truth except for your own, because it's always going to be based on your experiences, right? So if there is no truth, then it's only about what you feel is true to you. Then that means that there's going to be a lot of conflicting information out there. And what one person says is healthy, another person says is unhealthy. Okay, some people are going to say a glass of red wine a day is great for the heart, and other ones are going to be like, it's going to kill you, right? And they will find evidence of all of it. Because that's how the universe works. Law of attraction, right? Like that, law of resonance. You're going to find proof for whatever it is you're looking for. So you have to find for you what is your definition of healthy. Like for me, my definition of healthy is going to be very different than somebody that's a vegan or a vegetarian or deeply into like macros and fitness. Like my version of healthy doesn't look like that, and I'm okay with that. I don't have to fit into anybody else's standards. I can create my own standards, listen to what other people are saying around me, experts that really have studied this, and I can actually then say, okay, does that actually feel true in my body? Can I try that and see how this fits into my identity and what I believe is true? And when you start to do that, you allow yourself to become, but you need to be kind of on that journey of it to become that version. Right? You have to understand it. And sometimes a lot of times we know in our minds like what we need to be doing. And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, now I'm going to start to implement these things. And maybe you'll learn a little bit more. And that's what I want you to do. I don't want you to just jump into this complete change of life. I want you to ask yourself, what would this version of me do? Right? Like, how would they do it? What did they do? What did they start to incorporate that actually felt really good? Did they start to incorporate, I don't know, more sleep? Is that where they started? Did they start there? Did it start with like adding in? Like, why does everything just have to be let go of? Why can't we just add first? Like maybe you just add in some vegetables into your diet, right? So there are so many different ways to start going about these things. Now I'm using weight loss, which I don't even like that terminology, right? It's like weight release, because if you lost something, you're going to find it again. So, we want to make sure that we're talking about the releasing of it, that we don't want it back, right? So, I'm talking about this because this is a big one that comes up for a lot of people, and probably the one that has really unhealthy approaches to it. So what intentions do is intentions don't come from this place of lack. They don't come from a place of fear. They really come from a place of expansion. What do you plan to do? It helps to shift your internal frequency, helps you to understand what, let's say, radio station you're dialing into. And that radio station that you're dialing into should be a timeline, like a higher timeline. And what is that higher timeline version of you doing? And what this is going to do is help you to change how you move through the world. It's not changing you. It's changing how you move through the world. Not just about what you do, but what you embody, how you feel. Biggest one, how you feel. And then intentions ask, like resolutions are asking, like, what do I have to change? Intentions are asking, who am I becoming this year? And I love that because I ask myself that question. I mean, I don't want to say every day because I probably don't ask myself every day, but it's there for me every day. Like I'm leaning into and embodying who is this version of Tiffany, right? Of this that I see that is on another timeline, and how do I lean into her energy every single day? How am I becoming her, or how am I already her? How can I start to see everything in my life around me as that version of me would from her eyes, from her? And then as you begin to do that, you become her. And that's really the beauty of the intentions and asking yourself this question of who am I becoming? Because now you're pointing your focus to the becoming and embodying that now and bringing it back to this present moment. And when you do that, it anchors in the identity. Instead of like restricting it, it's anchoring it into the here and now through the little things that you do. And maybe they are some big things. I don't want to say like, oh, you just have to do tiny things. Like maybe they are big things. Maybe you adopt something that feels really good for you, but maybe you also hold it loosely. You're not like so deeply regimented about it. Because I think that when you're so deeply regimented about something in the very beginning, you will shame spiral. Just like when you don't do your resolutions, right? Like you go into a shame spiral. Like, how can you lovingly, gracefully add in new habits or develop new habits? And that's something that I strive to do and I do all the time. And sometimes I fall off of it and then I get right back on. I don't beat myself up over it like I used to in the summer. In the spring, I was going for walks every single day. Now, I'm still moving my body. I'm not moving it in the same way. Do I like that? No, right? I don't love that, but I'm not going to beat myself up and be like, oh my God, like you were so good. What happened? No, it's just, other things got in the way and I didn't prioritize it. So now for this year, I will make these things a priority because it actually does make me feel good. And I'm going to allow myself to stick to it but never beat myself up over it. Okay? So again, we're pulling our future self to us. We are making also decisions for our life from like decisions from here and now, like that are happening here and now from the version of our future self, which is so beautiful because this intention that you're setting is truly a direction for your energy. And we want to do that. Right? That's like the double slit experiment in quantum physics. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please, please, please make sure that you go look it up, read all about this because, it's not just I equate the results of the double slit experiment not just to the quantum field. I really like look at this in everyday life and I look around and I say, okay, so here it is basically. The idea behind the double slit experiment was that and I'm not going to explain the entire thing, but basically the outcome was what these quantum physicists found is when you did not focus on something, it was on it, the particles that they were looking at would completely just go into, there was unlimited possibilities for them. They were all over the place. And then when the viewer focused, when it focused the attention and said, what are these particles doing? It would stand still. Right? So what that says is when we put our attention on something, the universe meets us. It comes to attention. But if we're not putting our focus on anything, then the possibilities are limitless. And that could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing. And if you're not putting your focus on it, the universe isn't focusing on it with you, right? So we want to make sure that we're allowing this focus. We're allowing the intention to be the direction for the energy of the things that we want. So when we lose sight of things, you notice that nothing starts to happen, right? Because we're not giving the attention and the intention to whatever it is that we're doing, calling in, experiencing, etc. So intentions are meant to really elevate your state and give whatever it is that you want direction, which I love. Now, I love this. So I'm going to give a shout out to my friend Jen Fasano, who owns Babes in Business, Long Island. And I'm giving her this shout out because a few years ago, when she started having Babes breakfast clubs at Spirit and Soul, she introduced me to the word of the year. And I feel like, I don't know if I heard it before that, but I don't know if I ever actually did it, right? Like, I don't know if I ever actually picked a word for the year. And Jen had us pick a word for the year. So I picked a word, whatever it was, I don't even remember at this point. And all I know is that last year, my word was expansion. And let me tell you something, like if that's not putting your focus on something and saying, this is my word, and I'm going to keep coming back to it, because I did keep coming back to my word. I'm like, my word was expansion, and I am expanding. But I set the tone for the year with that word. And it was so important that I did. Now, in the next episode, because I'm doing like a little New Year's energy special for you guys. So in the next episode, we're going to talk about like the different things that you can do to set yourself up for the new year. But this is one of the things. One of the things is choosing your word. So what do you want 2026 to feel like? And again, if you're coming back to this episode because it's springtime or whatever it is, what do you want this upcoming year to feel like for you? Right? Like, no matter, you can do this whenever. You could do what is my word of the season, right? And like let that be your word. This feels like the 12-week year, which is a book. If you're in business, it's like a must read. I love it. But like the 12-week year, it's like condensing 1 year into 12 weeks and setting goals for that. So maybe that's what you want to do. And like, what is your word for the next 12 weeks? Whatever. But you can do it for the year. Now, what is that word for you? What do you want to see in 2026? Not what do you want to manifest, not what are your intentions, but what is the feeling and the vibe for you of 2026? For me, so last year it was expansion, and this year it was huge, huge for me, for spirit and soul, expansion galore. Like, it was such a beautiful year. I am so grateful for this year. And also, I know that 2026 is going to be even bigger. And this year, my word is audacity. And the audacity to go for my dreams in the biggest way possible. The audacity to be me fully expressed. Now, I am always authentic when I'm on stories and doing, whatever it is. But I'm a believer that we always hold back a little bit. And it's like you don't even realize it. Like, I don't realize it if I'm doing it. I don't realize it. But I know that there is a piece of me that hasn't really been put out into the world yet. And maybe because she's still becoming, right? And that's what I mean by like, we're not putting out the full aspect of us because maybe we just don't know her yet. And that's okay. That's not being inauthentic. It's becoming, right? So we can always be that work in progress. Or I don't even know if I like that. We can always be becoming. And in that, you're going to find more things about who you are. You're going to become more comfortable in a version of you that is more boldly expressed. And I feel like for me, that's where I'm at. Like, to become more boldly expressed and to be a version of myself that's already starting to bloom. I'm going to give that version of me more attention. And so I'm having the audacity to be that fully expressed version, that future version of me now, out loud. Okay, and watch me. So now I'm putting this out there to you right now. Hold me accountable. Hold me accountable. I will be, well, I don't want to say will be because will creates walls. Okay. When we say I will, it means you're actually creating a wall. You're not allowing flow. So I am already her. I'm already stepping into that version right now of me. And so I have the audacity to be me fully expressed, to go for my dreams in the biggest, most bold ways possible. And I am going to do it. And I'm excited for that. So now that I have that, and again, like, I want you to look at this and I don't want you to think of it as like a contract that you're making to yourself. Like, right? A contract feels like I will do this. I will do that. I will do this. I want you to take your word and allow it to be your compass for the year. So allow it to be the thing that is moving you and always guiding you toward that North Star. So for me, expansion was that word in 2025. And so I allowed the word expansion to guide me throughout the year. Does this feel expansive? And I said no to a lot of things because it did not feel expansive. If something didn't feel expansive, I did not do it. And even books, like, I wouldn't read books that didn't feel expansive. There was a book that I picked up that was highly recommended by a lot of like business books. I opened it up and I was like, nope. I didn't like the wording. I didn't like how the person was talking about certain things. And I was like, this does not resonate with me. This is not expansive for me. It actually makes me contract. So absolutely not. So I want you to start to understand that the word that you choose can be your North Star, your compass, your guiding light. and allow it to be that. So pick something that feels a little bit out of your comfort zone. Like the word audacity feels outside of my comfort zone. Doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. Okay. Because I am a person that will always push myself out of my comfort zone. But what I want you to do is pick something that feels a little bit uncomfortable and that you will actually do. You will actually move towards it. And I know that you can do it. And what I believe is when we set the intentions, know the word, we begin to create a different type of year. We create a year that is very intentional, that reminds you that you create your reality. And I will always, always, always come back to this. Always. I'll always come back to you create your reality. It is the most important thing for you to know. Because if there's something that you don't like, you have every ability to change it. And you're the only person that can. We're not waiting for anything outside of us to begin to change our reality. It has to change with you from within, taking bold action, becoming a different version of you, taking with you the pieces that need to come, and leaving behind the stuff that you don't need. Okay? So, like, that's what we also need to be able to do for this 2026 version of us. And I'm going to talk about that. I think I'm going to do actually a bonus episode for this because I really want you guys to understand that, like, what needs to come forward and what doesn't, and we don't have to take everything with us as well. But right now, I want you to just start setting yourself up. Set yourself up for success, for the amazingness ahead. So I'm going to do an episode. I'm going to do it as a bonus episode, I think, about some rituals that you can do for the new year, for like, New Year's Eve or maybe like a day or two before, to really let go of things you don't need and step forward boldly into this next level version of you. So now, I am super excited for you to set yourself up with intentions, with a word of the year. I'm super excited to hear how your year unfolds for you. Super excited for that. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, number one, I would love to hear your words. So please DM us at Spirit and Soul Studio. You can DM, you can do a maybe like a recording of you like with the podcast and tell me what your word is so that we can share it to our stories and put it boldly out into the world, guys. Like, I just put my word boldly out to you, right? To all the people that listen to this podcast, and it's a lot of people that listen to this podcast, I'm putting my word boldly out. Like, keep me accountable. And I would love to do the same for you. We would love to do the same for you because you know that if you come into the shop and take a class, one of my classes, if you're on, Zoom, whether that's on Zoom, because we do everything virtual for the most part, or in person, that if I'm following you or seeing the things you're doing or your goals aren't big enough, I'm going to push you. I'm going to keep you to that word. I'm going to call you out on it. And you're going to thank me for it later. I promise, because it'll keep you on the move towards the things that you want. So please do that for us. I would love, love, love to see your words. And of course, if you can, please leave us a review. If this podcast is changing your life in some way, or it's helping you to see things differently, or you're seeing different truths in your life, please leave us a review. It makes a huge difference. So whether you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all the different places, we would love, leave us a comment on YouTube. We would love to see that. But yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you guys, and we are getting ourselves set up for the best year yet. Are you ready? See you in the next episode.